Assalamualaikum class. So today we are going to do a unit 3 data processing and representation, and the topic is continuous and cropped data. So in the previous lecture we worked with discrete data, and then today we are going to work with continuous data. So in the first video I forgot to mention what is discrete. So discrete value is basically which cannot have any other value except for integers. So let's say number of x. So it could be either 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 8, maybe they are 10x. They cannot be 10.1x, or maybe, so this is wrong, and maybe 8.5, this is wrong as well. So these kind of values are called discrete values. Now continuous values is basically they can take on any type of number. So they can be in the form of integers, and they can be in the form of rational or irrational numbers. They can be in decimals, they can be. So this is continuous. The problem with this is that these number of this type of data can be finite. So there are only a limited number of unique values. But in continuous, the data has unlimited number of unique values. So that's unlimited number of unique values. So now the problem is when I will make my table of x and f, I will have way too many x. So let me just drop this all, and we will see this data. So let's just drop this all. Okay, and so now the data shows the waiting time x minutes for 36 patients at the pharmacy of a hospital. So now we have 36 patients. So these are 36 values. We know it from here, and these are minutes. Now, if we see that there is an integer and there is a decimal value as well, and so let's try to make the table that we did with x and f. So x and an f. So what is the minimum value of weight? So the minimum value of weight is, I think, 9, if I'm not wrong. And then we have 10, and then we have so there is an 8.1 there as well. So let's just write x here, and let's make this 8.1. Is there any other value? So there is a 10 as well, and then there is 14. Yes, so we have 14. We have, what else? And we have 16. We have 17, I guess. Do we have 17? We have 17. And do we have 18? So is there an 18 here? 18, 18, 18, 18. So there is no 18, so there is 19. And so from 19 we get on to the 20s. Is there a 20 value? 22, there is 22 and 24. Okay, I will just write random values right now, not in the order. So that's 23.8, and then we have 22.1. And essentially, when you will see, you will have a very long list of, let's just pinch it, you will have a very long list of x. Okay, and so for against each value you will have a frequency, and that might be only one, maybe for 2, maybe 3, 1. And so this is a very hectic task of just putting in the x and the f values, because they are almost unlimited, and there are too many unique values within this data table. So how do we deal with this? Deal with this is basically we group them. we will group them. We will say, okay, so let's have x within the range of 1 to 10, and then we have 1 to 20, and then we 11 to 20, and then we have 21 to, sorry, this is 21 to 30, 31 to 40, and 40 to 50. And essentially what I would figure out only two things, which is the highest value and the lowest value. So the highest value is 51, so I have to write 51 to 60 as well, and the lowest value is basically we have 9 and 9, and the lowest value is, I think this is 9. So let's do this. We are going to write the frequency, and so we have to make a range, and this is what we are going to do here. So we have 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, and 31 to 40, and 40 to 50, and 51 to 60. There you go. So we have the ranges of x. Now we have to find out the frequency. So we have to figure out 0 से 10 के दरमियान में कौन कौन सी values आनी है. So that's 1, 2, and no, 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 no. Is there, oh, 8.1. So 1, 2, and 3. Just making sure I'm right. Yeah. So only 3 values are between 0 and 10. Now 11 to 12. So there is 12, 1, 11 to 20. Sorry. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So the frequency of our values between 11 to 20 is 11, 21 to 30. So that's 25, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. And so that's 6. I think I forgot this one. And so it comes here. So that becomes a 12. 14.6 is between 11 and 20. So I forgot that one. So 31 and 40. So 31 and 35. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. And that's a 7. And 29 comes in 21 and 30. I forgot that again. So that becomes a 7 as well. And now we have 40 to 50. So 40 to 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is the frequency of 5. And then we have basically 52. So that's 1 and a 2. And so that's 2. And all of these values should sum up to 36. So if we add this, okay, so if we add this, it does add up to 36. So we have done this correctly. Now the problem is, in the previous example, we had to multiply x with f, right? So the formula was basically summation fx and summation f. So we have to multiply f with x. And so now we don't have a unique x, it's a range, it's not 1x. So previously we had x, and we will have values like 20, 21, 23, 24, and we will have frequencies there, and then an 8, maybe a 2, maybe a 5, and then we will have another common of fx. We say 20 into 7, we have to multiply this, then we have to 1 into 8, we have to multiply this, 23 into 2, and 24. But in this case, we don't have single values. So what we have to do is we have to figure out a value for this. So the way we are going to do it is we are going to make a new column, and we are going to say this is m and this is the midpoint. and midpoint of a range. So how do we find the midpoint of a range? We simply add them and divide it by 2. So that will be 0 plus 10 divided by 2, and that gives me a 5. And then 11, 20 plus 11, that's a 31 divided by 2, and that gives me basically how much? 15.5. And then you add this 21 plus 30 divided by 2, it gives you a 25.5. So that will be 25.5. And then you can basically see that this is a pattern. Since the ranges are same, you can calculate it again, or I can just see the pattern and write 35.5 and 45.5 and 55.5. And so now I have a certain value which is like this, a unique value of x. But in this case, since we have ranges, we have a midpoint. And now I have to multiply this with this. And so we have mx. So 5 into 3, 12 into 15.5, 7 into 25.5, 7 into 35.5, 5 into 45.5, and then 2 into 55.5. Okay, so we're going to have to multiply this. That's a 15. That gives me 186. That gives me 178.5, and that gives me 7 into 3, that gives me 248.5, and then this gives me 227.5, then 1 and 1 and 1, and I have to add all of this. This is what summation means. I have to add all of these values, and I get 966.5. And then we have summation, and the formula now is basically summation fm, which is frequency into midpoint, divided by summation f. And so this becomes 966.5 divided by 36, and this is 966.5 divided by 6. It gives me 160. Oh, sorry. So I calculated it wrong. Let's just drop this and write the right value. And the right value is 26.8. And this is the mean of continuous group data. Okay, so we are done with mean, and the second part is median. So median is equals to n plus 1 divided by 2. Again, this gives us the position, not the actual value. So n is total number of data points, which is 36. So 36 plus 1 divided by 2, that gives me 37 divided by 2, and that gives me 1 and a 7 and a 6 and a 18.5. So that's 18.5. This value is basically in between, so I have to figure out this position. So this is the position, and from this I can see that frequency here is 1 to 3 values are between 0 and 10, and then we have basically 12 frequencies. So 4 plus 3 to 15 position is basically, wait, so let's use the other color so we don't mix things up. Okay, so पहली 3 positions जो हैं वो 0 to 10 to रहेंगी with a midpoint of 5, and फिर 4th position शुरू होगी, 4th से वो all the way जाएगी to 12 plus 3 15 तक जाएगी, and then हमारे पास अगली position जाएगी 16 से शुरू होगी, and it will go all the way to 15 plus 7, and that gives me a 22, and it will end to 22. And so now my position 18.5 is basically lying between 16 and 22, and the value for that is basically 25.5. So that will be 25.5. 5 will be my median. My mode will be